Howdy from Texas. This is Heath Hipple with Bugs Fishing. Idea of mine is to do a weekly vlog called The Weekly Bug, talking about what's going on, thoughts for current situations, thoughts for future projects. So here goes. So online orders were good this week. Everything got out the door, including an order for Black Fly Outfitter in Jacksonville, and so it's good to get those not off my chest. But anytime there's an online order that I'm sitting on, it makes me uncomfortable because I want to get orders out the door as quickly as possible because I want y'all to have your bugs for your trip. Today, so I was busy Monday and Tuesday. I was out of town Wednesday and Thursday on a work trip. Thursday afternoon, had a good conversation with Rick and Jim at TFO Rods up in Dallas. They're great guys, and we've talked informally before about some kind of distribution deal. They would help me get bugs into retail stores. It's not something that I want to take on at this point. And so we talked through a little bit of that, and I was just reminded of how complicated a process bugs is. Complicated because there needs to be expertise in, on the conventional and the tying side, if you will. So like there needs to be expertise to tie the bugs, and then there's jig heads. They need to be painted. They need to be designed well. They need to be painted. They need to have a good paint job, and then there's soft plastics. And so logistically, business-wise, it's different than just about any other business, in the fishing industry. And that's good in some respects because it's kind of, there's some protection there because it's a pain. Like, it's a pain to have all that expertise in one place and bring it all together. So anyway, so there weren't any answers at that meeting, just some information that they requested that they'd like for me to get to them, and I'm gonna do that. I saw some new travel rods that they are working on that are awesome. I've been using that travel rods for a while now, and they work well. These new ones are lighter. The balance is a little bit more comfortable when it's in your hand, and it looks like those are going to get the green light, and it looks like it will be August when those are released. And I told them, without a doubt, I want to be a part of that first run of travel rods. I get asked often, especially with my light bonefish jigs, a 16th ounce, I get asked often about travel rods, and so I know I could sell them. A big part of Bugs business is outfitting people for trips that they go on, and not everybody has three-piece travel rods, and because one-piece rods, sometimes an airline won't take them at all, but they're pain. 6 to 8 foot case is a pain to travel with. So that's definitely coming down the road, and I just have to decide if I want to sell some of the older models in the interim, and I'm probably just going to wait until the new ones come out. And when that happened, it would so they have 6 models: a light action, which is awesome for 16th ounce bonefish jigs, medium light, which I like for the heavier bonefish jigs, and as kind of a permit rod, a smaller one. They have a medium heavy, and a heavy action, but it was the heavy action that I picked up. It does not feel like a heavy action rod. Like I said, it's lighter than I would suspect, and the balance is really nice when you're holding it. But I know the backbone is there because they're really careful about having a stiff enough butt section and having strong backbone to fight big fish. And so that's a fun future addition to the Bugs lineup. And like I said, the guys at TFO are great, and I'm excited about working with them on that. Today, Dylan helped me pack and ship several orders, and then we came back here and he worked on some product pictures for the new website. there's a, like, my goal, not my goal, it's going to happen. So everything that's going to be available on the website is going to have like a picture attached to it, a nice detailed picture. You won't have to guess like on the color of rabbit strips. It won't say red and wine, and you'll have to, I mean, everything's going to have a picture. And so that takes a little while, but that project is coming along. My buddy Isaac is working on the website, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's gonna be modern. It's gonna be mobile friendly. It's gonna, like, he's taking cues from Amazon and all the information that's available, how it's laid out, and it's gonna be awesome. And to my longtime customers, I appreciate your patience with how terrible the website is. I guess it's not terrible. There's good information there, but it is dated. It's old, and so I appreciate your patience with that. And I'm working diligently to give you a lot better experience ordering and just in general on the Bugs website. So Dylan took some pictures. We got orders out the door, and I've continued to do research on treble hooks and tarpon hooks. I call it gamakatsu, and I'm waiting on a call back to order the tarpon fly hooks. It'll be part of the tarpon jigs, and then the trebles. I think I'm going to go with a size 4, like 4 for basic inshore saltwater, a size 2/0 for my offshore guys, and I might add, and those are the standard round bend. The size 4 would be a 2x strong. The size 2/0 for offshore guys would be a 4x strong, so it would be a monster, really strong, really tough. And then I might add a size 2 EWG extra wide gap. The difference in those, what I can read, or what I've read, is that the round bend standard treble is better at hooking fish, especially if they slash at a bait. So that happens on topwater. Sometimes that happens on, crankbaits if you're working them pretty quickly. Like anything that a fish slashes at, standard round bend treble is best. The extra wide gap hooks come in handy when a fish almost kind of inhales the bait, and the extra wide gap helps to keep the fish hooked. They're less likely to throw the hook. And when I started reading about that, I read on a FLW website, bass fishing website. There are lots of choices, lots of different reasons to choose one or the other. It kind of gave me a headache. And so I'm either going to start with 2 or 3. I have to start somewhere. I think I'm going to start with 2 or 3. The Cuda Bug project is already, it's ready to go. I had a thought this week. I responded to somebody on Facebook. They were asking about one of the projects I had, and it was just a natural response, but I think it's telling. I said, I won't have peace until I get this made and get it in people's hands and see what happens. And so that's been the case for a long time with bugs. The ideas, like once I landed on the concept of jigs that are tied like flies, bringing the best from the fly fishing world to lure fishermen, I just wanted to see what happened. And it was one of those ideas that had to get done, or I wouldn't have peace. Like I had to get it done. And so that was, going back 7 or 8 years when I started, and it's still the same way. And it's only grown now because as I've done it over the years, I've gotten better at the design process, and but that it's still the same feeling. I gotta get the stuff made and get it in your hands, or I won't. That's what gives me. I don't have peace when I have an idea that I really believe in. I don't have peace until I get it made and get it done and see what happens. And I thought that may be encouraging to some of y'all. If you're not satisfied with the work you're doing, my question is, what fires you up? What are the gifts God's given you? And what do you ever have an idea and you can't get away from that idea and you think, I'm not going to have peace until I see what happens? my advice is try to find a way on a small scale first to get it made, to get it done, and to see what happens. I'm still in that boat. Bugs has grown every year, but it's not my full-time job. I happened to stumble upon Bugs, in 2009 when I had 3 kids already, and we have 4 now. And so I haven't been in the place where I could quit my job to solely focus on it, but that's okay. And I think I'm more normal. That's a more normal course of action than most. And so my advice to you, if you're unsatisfied with your work, or maybe you're satisfied with your work, but you have an idea you can't let go of, that you won't have peace until you get it made. My advice is start small and see what happens. Work on it, do it, see what happens, and maybe that'll help somebody. I don't know, but that's what Bugs is like for me. This treble hook idea, the dress trebles, the tarpon bug, the Cuda bug, prototypes have all been successful, and I want to get it out there to a wider audience, and I won't have peace until I do. So that's what I'm working on right now, and that's why, along those lines, that's why I'm going back to Nicaragua in May. I've been only going once a year, but I'm speeding up the process because I want to get stuff out there more quickly and see what happens. So, as always, thank you very much for your support. Maybe tell me what you think about this format and what I'm doing here. If I get somebody to help me do this, I'll bring some show and tell stuff, but you can see pictures of all the stuff I'm working on Instagram. But anyway, catch you later.